Yeah.
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 I can't get over Beth. That's the only...
Welcome back, everyone, to episode 8 of Bachelor Mondays with your Steinbach Pistons. As always, I am your host, Easton Bennett, here with Tanner Moll, the anchor of the show. I guess you could call him anchor in a pool. I don't know if you can swim, but I've been informed that the anchor is the end. So let's scrap all that. What?
Do I hold this down? Because an anchor holds the boat down. Am I your anchor in life?
Yeah, We're here with the second leg of the show, which means in track terms, that's the slowest person. Tanner, slowest person.
Can you explain why you're calling me the slowest?
I can't. I really don't know. I just am.
I think that's a little rude. If I'm picking up what you're putting down, it's kind of insulting, but I'll just go with it.
You smelling what I'm stepping in?
Yeah, it's not good.
Okay, Tanner, this week we had hometown dates. Starting off at Kaylin's hometown. Went well, seemed to go well, but Kaylin was the only one that Colton didn't say that he's falling in love back. How did this end up going for you? She ended up being kicked off of the show. What were you thinking during this date?
I really caught me off guard was when her stepdad kind of just started bawling on a couple separate occasions. Just really showed his soft side, and that's kind of interesting. You don't see that very often. None of the other dads really kind of let it all out, and he really put it all on the line for Kaylin. He wanted her to find love, and she was unable to, but she gave it her all, and better luck next time.
Okay, welcome back. Tyson McConnell, the first leg in a track race, second fastest. That's what you did in high school, I heard, yeah? Sprinter?
All-around athlete.
Yeah, okay. Kaylin was growing on you a little bit, I know. She was becoming one of your favorites. Sad to see her go. Tough that Colton didn't say I love you back to her. Thoughts during that hometown?
It broke my heart to see her go.
So now that she's on the market, are you gonna throw her an email or carrier pigeon?
Well, she'll probably inquire about me here in the next few days.
Yeah, we'll see about that. We'll say you're the second leg. You're just in front of Tanner on the speed scale.
Good player.
So good to have you here. Good to have you here as a second leg, and we're excited to talk. So let's talk about the first date. Kaylin's family first. Kaylin's dad ends up being the biggest baby I've ever met in my entire life. Goes there, doesn't get a rose. What are you thinking about Kaylin's date?
Her family's a skid. I didn't like her right from the start. I think she was kind of a little bit fake, honestly, to me. She pulled all these cards all the time to try to get to his feelings, and I think that's kind of how she made it along, and Colton made up his mind and said enough of that and tossed her.
It went as well as any other date. It's tough at the Final Four. Someone's got to get sent home.
Okay, let's talk about the second hometown date now with Hannah G. Obviously my favorite. Crowd knows that. Fans know that. She did well. She got a rose. Turns out Big Beth, her mom, was an absolute character and a half. How did her date go, first of all? And then, how did that Beth... Here, I'll put a picture here. And then, how did Beth make Hannah G?
The date was pretty good. I thought things went well, and then I honestly don't remember much about Hannah G's date, to be honest.
I wonder why.
All I can remember is her family, and I guess Colton just loved the family, and I think he just likes everything about it, and he thought that he would fit in with the family and enjoy every minute of it.
Colton seems pretty into Hannah G, rightfully so, and it was good for him to meet their family. They're a nice family.
Yeah, I don't really know what was going on with Beth there, but definitely maybe not the mother-in-law you want to have, but
Adopted, maybe?
Yeah, I could definitely see it.
Hannah G, one of your favorites, no doubt. Easy, best looking one, in my opinion. We're sitting here watching, and we're wondering how those parents made her. Because, one, Hannah G is the sexiest person ever, and then her parents are just two turds with legs. What do you think of Tanner?
I think Hannah G really just came out of left field, kind of like a unicorn in a pen of regular horses.
Let's talk about the third date now. Another one of your favorites, Tasha. We got to meet Big Jim. Big Jim was giving Colton a tough time. We're not really sure if his name's Jim, but you said it was Jim, so we're going with Jim. Sorry if you're watching this, Jim. So Big Jim obviously didn't give the blessing to Colton right away. End of the date, he did. What were you thinking of Tasha's date and Tasha's family?
I think they actually do have a really good connection. And I think what Big Jim showed Colton there was that he showed that he actually cared, and the family truly does care about Tasha and everything. And I think that actually he did end up giving his blessing, so I think that was a good step for Colton. But I think it also made Colton realize that Tasha's really in it for the real reasons, and her family understands what it means to actually get married and engaged. So I think that actually might end up helping her in the long run.
He's just being protective. He may have seen or heard about the date where they went skydiving and Colton screamed louder than I thought was possible, or higher than possible, but he was obviously conquering a fear, and that's pretty cool. But, Colton really put the work in. He said the right things, and, he impressed Big Jim enough to get the blessing.
Yeah, the dad was playing a little hard to get at first, but no, I think he has some reservations about his daughter marrying someone she's just met, understandably so.
Honestly, I kind of respect that a bit. Like, just obviously Colton coming in probably knew that Tasha's dad was going to be pretty tough. She kind of led that on for a few weeks, that if she made it to hometowns, her dad was going to be pretty tough to crack, and he kind of stuck to his word. And I know, like, the show's only been going on for a month and a half at that point, and you only know this person for a month and a half, and he's asking for your daughter's hand in marriage. So I can kind of respect that, but on the same side, I guess, like, all the other dads are probably going to give the blessing and just going to go along with what their daughters are saying. So that kind of, I guess, takes away from Tasha's chance of winning, even though she didn't really do anything. It's just her dad kind of affecting it. So yeah, I think that definitely put an impact on Colton and Tasha. But
Talk about the last hometown date now. A lot of the guys' fan favorites, Cassie. In this date, we ended up finding that two positives do make another positive, because, Cassie's parents, both attractive. Cassie's sister, very attractive. Might be hotter than Cassie, in my opinion. But you do what you can. What are you thinking about that gem of a family? And her hometown date?
One word is just wow. Cassie's very attractive woman, and they step foot into the house, and she's pales in comparison, in my opinion. The hometown date was good. They went surfing. I enjoyed that date.
Why?
It was two people falling in love.
Bullshit.
She also looked very pretty. My updated power rankings: Hannah G. The next is Tasha. Third.
You guys getting this?
Third is Cassie's sister. Fourth is Cassie. I just think.
Where's Beth?
Fifth. She's a
Sleeper pick?
She's a sleeper pick. She may upset her. She may upset her daughter yet, but that'll be a upset of the ages, I think.
that's where you want to be. Huntington Beach, great family, great house. I judge by the houses. That's definitely a big factor.
The dad was very reserved, obviously. He didn't even give Colton his blessing, which I think is probably the most realistic. Most dads wouldn't be totally up for giving some guy they just met who has known their daughter for 2 months their permission to marry. But I think it went well. I think, the dad was just saying just give it time, which is, like I said, very understandable. I thought the date went well. The mom, I'm not sure if the mom talked to Colton or the sister talked to Cassie, and the mom talked to Cassie, maybe, I don't know, and seemed to go well, and she sort of sorted out her feelings, but she's not falling in love with him, or hasn't said so. I think she's a little farther behind than the other girls, so that'll be interesting to see how that plays out.
I think it just went as it was supposed to be, and everything kind of went pretty good. And her family was kind of picking at her a little bit, like, can you really get married in this amount of time, and blah, 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 and whatever with that. But I think there could be a major plot twist here, and I think Colton could end up falling in love with Cassie's sister. I'm very worried about that.
Cassie's sister.
Yes.
What? You gotta indulge in this a little bit. You think this fence jump comes into play then?
Yeah, like I think he might just realize that the wrong Randolph is on the show, and he just decides that he's gonna make a play maybe or something here, and you know, all the girls start to freak out, and Colton just leapfrogs that fence.
This might be the biggest hot take I've ever heard of The Bachelor, but I love it. You know, we gotta have those twists and turns in this, and if you're right, I'll probably give you a prize. I don't know what you want. A new car, new yarmulke.
Well, yeah, you actually already owe me too, because just so the viewers know, Easton actually was able to watch The Bachelor last week because of myself. We had to PVR it because we had our Fire and Ice banquet, but I got out my iPad and I FaceTimed him for the whole show, and he was able to watch on our projector here, so Easton does owe me big time.
My thanks go out tremendously to Tyson. I told him I owe him lunch next time, and that is, I'll buy him 15 lunches. That's hypothetical. I won't actually buy you 15, but I'll buy you one. But yeah, like that was so greatly appreciated. I tried to record it at home. Turns out Sheldon, my billet dad's downstairs TV doesn't record. That was news to me. Came home pretty upset. Searched for it online. Nothing illegal. Couldn't find anything. And my last resort is Colonel, and he really pulled through, and I appreciate that so much. Won't happen again, I promise you that.
Sponsor this week, Crush. We had them on before. They sent us the orange flavor this time. Pretty good. I like it better than the grape. So
It's good to have sponsors. You know, these pop companies have been our main sponsors, so it's good to have them on the show. You know, it really keeps the production going, keeps us able to afford the electricity to power the Bachelor on Mondays. So
yeah, pays the bills. This show isn't cheap. It's actually really expensive. So.
Thanks for watching this week's episode, guys. We're excited to talk to you next week about the Fantasy Suites, and peace out from the Pistons.